summer. Henry's here with me now. Henry, it ended up 3-2. The scoreline looks sort of respectable.
Yeah.
The underlying stats and the performance maybe tell a different story. What are you saying?
Yeah, the scoreline's flattering, but that performance, the first 60 minutes is a fucking joke, mate. What on earth are we doing? What on earth? Like, Ange gambled tonight. He went with, 3 teenagers. Archie Gray was the better of the 3. He played Lancashire. Fair enough. He got his goal. Bergvall, the occasion got to him. He was all over the place. But tonight, James Maddison, I can see why he's holding the bench. He was abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. Do you know how many times he kicked the ball out of play? 6. 6 times. It didn't even just reach the target. It went out of fucking play.
He tackled himself at one point as well, I saw.
Yeah. Victor Osimhen genuinely could have scored 7 goals tonight. I just want to read something to you. I'm not sure if you've said it yet. Galatasaray had 28 shots.
Yeah.
10 on target and an expected goals of 3.29. We had 5 shots against our line that was higher than ours. You see how high the line was? It was nearly on the halfway line. All you got to do is get Sarr to make a diving run, push that back line back, stop Dominic Solanke. The red card. What is Lancashire doing? Yes, you're naive. You're an inexperienced player, but you're on a yellow card. Don't go and do that. You're asking to be sent off. I don't think the referee had too bad of a game tonight either.
Can I ask you a question about that? Do you think by starting so many youngsters in a hostile environment, maybe getting the starting lineup wrong as well, being under that kind of pressure, do you sort of think Big Ange just hung those kids, especially Lancashire, who's ended up getting sent off? Do you think he's kind of hung them out to dry a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. He's gone with a massive gamble. Archie Gray, no you doggy. Obviously, no Romero, no Van der Ven. He's played Bergvall and he's played Lancashire. Lancashire's confidence will be shot to bit now because he's just been sent off. Fair enough. He took his goal really, really well. But tonight, majority of that is on Ange. The lineup weren't good enough. And when we're getting absolutely cooked, drop that defensive line by 10 yards. Why are we playing it out from the back? There was more pressure on our back line, right, than a lawyer tearing apart a marriage. We were getting absolutely cooked. Absolutely cooked, mate. Victor Osimhen, I think I counted, he had the ball in the back of the net twice from offside positions. He had 3 headers. He scored twice. So that's 7 shots. And he had 1 from a corner. The Premier League team, like you just said before I come on, Premier League teams have got to be looking at him because he tore us to shreds. Dries Mertens, 37 years of age, and he's run us ragged.
Do you know what's really interesting? This is my biggest bugbear when it comes to Big Ange, is that he doesn't adapt enough in games. He's not even. You want proactivity, but there are times where you need a manager to be reactive and say, "Do you know what we're doing isn't working? Let's start knocking some balls into the channel." As an example, let's give them something they're not expecting. You only actually made the changes and became more compact when you became a better team when you went down to 10 men, which for me is a concern because if you hadn't have gone down to 10 men, you probably would have conceded more goals. That's a sobering fact. And I know they say it's harder to play against 10 men. Absolutely. But your manager's away from home. You go a goal down, you equalize, you're in Europe. What you should be then doing at that point is being hard to break down. You go on the counter. You wait essentially for them to run their legs out a little bit. And if you'd have done that, what you did after going down to 10 men, if you'd have done that, what you would have done is you'd have run their legs out. Then you would have had 11 men versus, and I reckon you could have won the game. But that's on the manager for getting his in-game management wrong and just doing this sort of, it's how we play, mate. And I understand it's his way of doing it. But when you get to them knockout stages, you're going to come a cropper. You're going to come a cropper playing that way, in my personal opinion. You have to, unless you've got the best team in the world like Man City, you have to learn, in my opinion, to adapt in-game to handle those environments. And there's going to be a number of them. If you guys will make the knockout stages, there's a number of places you're going to go to away from home in Europe that are going to be as hostile and as difficult as that.
Our
This
away
year from
record's been horrendous as well.
mate,
Sorry to cut you off. We've lost to Newcastle, Brighton, Palace. And the only home defeat we've had all season was against Arsenal in the North London derby. We've just lost again away from home. Like, even against Ferner, Ravos, whatever they were called, out in Hungary, they had some good chances.
they did.
Radu Dragusin is supposed to be the guy that comes in when Van der Ven and Romero are injured. He looks awful.
Dragon, bruv. Dragon, it was more like a gecko. I'm going to put it out there. Man ain't a dragon.
He's been sent off in this Europa League. We played 4 games and got 2 reds.
He was very poor tonight. Orchi here, one of our Spurs fans who's also Turkish, says, I think he's based out in Istanbul, says, Anne's frustrated me with the starting 11. Kids were not good enough away in Turkey. You have to play your better players. We improved because of subs. Should have subbed Lancashire after the yellow. Yeah, I agree. And the thing is, if you'd have played your full team and lost, I don't think this is damaging. But for some of those kids, can they recover from a performance like that? Thankfully, Forster's saves stopped it from being a historic. Because again, I think the reaction to this game would have been different if you'd have conceded 5, 6, 7 goals. If you were sitting there now 7-2, I think the world would look at the result is probably going to. And sometimes this might not help you long term. I think the scoreline, the scoreline is going probably mean the media are not going to put any attention on this game. But actually, I think you should. But I think you should.
30 shots on goal is like, don't get me wrong, Galatasaray are a good side. And I do, if they keep Osimhen throughout, from January to the summer, they will go far in the Europa League because they've got him. He took 2 of his chances tonight, probably should have had a few more. But for us, Bentancur, as soon as Bentancur come on, we actually had a little bit more control. And like you said, we had more control and we had 10 men. If Lancashire don't get sent off, we lose that game 5 or 6-1 because we would have gone gung-ho, so much space in behind. And they've got Icardi, who's about 33, Mertens, who's 37, our old centre-back in Davinson Sanchez. Like, let's be honest, other than Osimhen, no one's taking any of their players. But they have just absolutely cooked us. Does anyone know who their manager's name is? He's looked at us and went, right, well, that's the blueprint. That's how you beat them. You go at them. We crumbled, absolutely crumbled. If we can't beat Galatasaray away, what happens when we go to, the Portos or Old Trafford on a Thursday night
with Amorim?
Yeah, Ruben. Or I was about to say Sporting, but they're in the Champions League. There's some other top teams in here. Lazio. Yeah. We're gonna get absolutely folded in half.
Mate, I hear you. I really, really do. Look, thank you for jumping on. Viewers, we're going to be live again after Man United versus, I don't know how to pronounce their name, the team they play, plus Chelsea's match as well. So make sure you're back here in about an hour and a half. Alfie's just super chatted, actually, saying, game just gone on my break and seen the score. Makes me feel better after yesterday's loss. Must be a gooner. Who has said that. Now, I know what the team, I don't know how to pronounce that. As a dyslexic, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I'm dyslexic as well, so don't ask me.
So there we go. Two morons trying to read a sign. Listen, everyone who's